What's going on, guys? This is Aaron from Departures Capital, and we're here with John Deluce, President and CEO of Abitibi Metals. Pleasure to have you on today, John. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks very much for having me.
Yes, I'm excited to have you on, be talking about your company. It's definitely one I've heard about, and now we can chat about it. So, could you give us a brief introduction to the company, along with telling us a bit more about how it was founded and the current projects that you're working on?
Yeah, we're very excited to be coming off of a very exciting 2023 where we were the top performing Canadian junior mining stock in a very tough market conditions. So that really started with a fundamental acquisition that we made, an option agreement to earn 80% of the B26 deposit. And the B26 deposit is a polymetallic VMS, so it's a copper focused asset, but with zinc, silver, and gold credits. But the significance of this is this is the first time that the asset is in a public company. So we've optioned this from Solquam, who is a excellent prospector, resource developer. It's a private company funded by Investment Quebec. So this is the first opportunity that we have to showcase this asset, because a lot of times companies will get recycled assets that go through the different market cycles. And then you have to ask the question, what are we going to do differently? We are taking an asset in a position of strength with a historical resource of 11.4 million tons at 3% copper equivalent. And we've very quickly funded this, and we're going to be drilling 50,000 meters across this year in 2025. So we're really in a position of strength amongst our competitors, and we've pushed through tough market conditions. And you can only do that, in my opinion, by having a potential world-class asset. So we're very excited to showcase it. And also a bit about myself, I founded the company in 2000. We brought it public in 2020, backed by myself, my management team, and family office at the Deluce family office. It's had a strong track record of creating value across Canada in both the mining, airline, and real estate businesses. So we're not perma gold or commodity bulls, but we think the timing is right in the market. And that's why we're very excited about what we have at B26 and Abitibi Metals.
It's been very impressive what you've been able to do in a short amount of time. So, Abitibi Metals recently completed its first comprehensive 3D geological model for its B26 polymetallic deposit. Could you elaborate on how this milestone enhances the company's understanding of the deposit's potential and what implications it might have for future exploration efforts?
Yeah, so we're very excited about that development, and we appreciate the patience of our shareholders and following as we brought this out to the market. But we think that this is what we've released is a leapfrog images of what is a very complex model and oasis. But I'd say the key takeaway for your audience is this is a deposit that has a continuous strike length of 1 kilometer up to 1.6 kilometers discontinuous down to 850 meters in depth, and has a mineralized corridor 150 meters. So this is a sizable footprint. And when you look at the largest deposits in the Abitibi, they start with footprints similar to what we have at B26. So really, we see the potential of this asset growing significantly. And I think the significance of this 3D model as a starting point is to show the size and scale of the asset. But over the coming weeks and months, we're going to show a clear growth profile that we will continue to drill against as we start to drill at depth in Q2 and Q3, that I think will help show the clear value proposition to investors, and the fact that we have one of the very rare polymetallic opportunities in Canada, especially in such a strong jurisdiction like Quebec.
So, with the completion of the initial phase of drilling at B26 yielding promising results, what are the next steps for Abitibi Metals in terms of further exploration and development of this resource?
Yeah, so the great thing is we're coming off of completing 13,500 meters of drilling this winter. So we didn't waste any time. We financed the company right away after making this acquisition. We got right into up to 3 drills at site to complete a very robust drill program in Q1, really addressing the low-hanging fruit on the deposit, which was testing the open pit potential of the asset that has largely been untested to date, testing the first 300 meters vertical to test extension targets to the east, extension targets to the west, and gaps in the model, really targeting the high grade, better defining the high grade plunges of the deposit. So what's in store? We still have another 16,500 meters of drilling this year. We'll be basically drilling more or less nonstop the remainder of the year, focused on deeper drill targets through Q2, Q3, and the remainder of the year, but still fully funded for another 20,000 meters in 2025. So we've removed the financing risk from the equation. And that's a big part. And I think we're operating in a position of strength in this market. Commodity prices are starting to break out, but we're only at the beginning of what I think is a very explosive market. So we've positioned the company very well, lots of catalysts for investors to follow, and really an action-packed 2024.
I agree. I'm excited for this year. So while we're on the topic of financing, you were able to raise over $20 million in a very difficult market. So first, congratulations. And then second, with key shareholders like Frank Giustra, how are you able to do this?
Well, I think it really speaks to the quality, the opportunity, and the asset that we're developing. Without that, you don't get the financing and the key shareholders and the world-class advisory team that we've been able to attract. So it really starts with the asset and you build out from there. So as you mentioned, we've raised over $20 million and with no warrants in a market that is extremely hard to put together financings of that nature. But it speaks to us having an A-list shareholder registry of notable individuals in the space that recognize the value that we're creating. They also trust our track record of creating value for all shareholders, leading by example, putting our own money and self-funding this company through very tough market conditions, leading to us to being able to secure what we believe is a company making assets. So I think it starts with the asset, then goes to the structure, then goes to the track record of management. And I think that we're just starting to prove ourselves, but what we can promise our shareholders is we're well aligned as ourselves, management being the largest shareholders of the company, very prudent managers of capital, ensuring that we get the most out of our money at every step of the way. But also, when we get to the end of the year, we'll be one of the largest on a percentage basis of capital allocators into the ground. And that's what creates value for shareholders. So we're very excited. We've really brought together, combined a strong asset, good financing, good shareholders, and a good technical team that should lead to success here this year.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting year for you for sure. So let's talk about your drill programs. So with a fully funded 30,000 meter field season underway for 2024, what are the key objectives that Abitibi Metals aims to achieve through its exploration programs? And, how do these objectives contribute to the company's overall growth strategy and value proposition for investors?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is we need to grow the resource. We were starting with a sizable resource, but when you look at the Salbei mine, that is 7 kilometers to the northwest of B26, it produced over 53 million tons of similar polymetallic material over 20 years. So that's about well, it's over 4 times the size of B26 today, but it's a good example of the growth potential of these assets, and an asset that's so close on the same geological trend and shares a lot of similarities. So I think our goal is to take what has been very strong drill results to date within the first 300 meters vertical, continue that momentum into drilling the 300 to 600 to 800 meter vertical range in Q2 and Q3. And then whether that's Q2 or Q3 or towards the end of the year, we start to drill this at depth to show that this system extends to depth. SOCOM did drill 1,150 meter hole on the western side of the deposit that hit roughly 5% copper equivalent to over 7 meters. So the important question's been answered. Does this continue to depth? And it has been proven to do so with the limited drilling that has taken place to depth. So I think it's a matter of continuing to deliver strong drill results, showing a clear path to expand this resource and show the thesis that this could grow to multiples of what the current resource is today. So I think we're still very early on in the story of outlining an asset that was in a private company since the discovery in 1997. So we have a lot of work to do to showcase what is there at the asset today, showcasing what we've been able to do in Q1, and then showcasing what we're going to do the rest of the year. So really a catalyst-rich schedule for investors in the short term and also through the remainder of the year.
Definitely. So, finally, what key developments or milestones should investors or prospective shareholders be monitoring for Abitibi Metals throughout the remainder of 2024 to gauge the company's trajectory and potential for growth?
Yeah, so I think it comes back to drilling. We're going to drill another 16,500 meters minimum this year. So lots of drill results, both on expanding the resource, better defining high grade trends, and really, I think that's a key thesis. We are doing some property wide targeting. We are commencing a gravity survey in the short term. That will look outside of the B26 footprint because within these VMS camps, a lot of times these occur in clusters. So the project as a whole has been very underexplored, and we're going to start to complete some work like the gravity survey to look at the structuring on the trend as a whole to try to address the question, is there another B26 within the property boundary? So we're going to start to look at that. We're also going to continue to update our 3D model, monitor our resource internally to ensure that we bring out an update when it makes sense for investors. So really, the focus this year is on drilling and a lot of complementary work on increasing the accuracy of our drilling, increasing our potential hit ratio and success and the level of success that we could have with drilling. So it comes down to that, but lots of catalysts for investors to follow.
Well, it's going to be an exciting year for you guys. Congratulations on everything so far. It's been a pleasure covering the story and just watching everything. So I look forward to having you back on, hopefully in the future.
Yeah, appreciate it.